One of the principles that's taught in the Bible is the fact that we are to treat others the way that we want to be treated. And I feel like it's just glossed over. You know, a lot of people teach a lot of the other principles about forgiveness, about turning another cheek when something happens over and over, and forgiving people and letting go of bitterness and resentment. And they're teaching all these wonderful scriptures and about discernment and the Holy Spirit and praying, and but no one's really, they're glossing over this whole treat others as we want to be treated. This principle has shown itself to me since I was 17 years old, and it will continue to show itself to me, okay? I probably noticed it before that, before 17, but the first time it actually connected for me was when I was 17 years old. And I have been living by this principle my whole life. I mean, of course, sometimes it's hard to remember this when you're in something, but keep this in the back of your mind, okay? God, every word that's been spoken in the Bible has never, ever returned void. This is one of them. So when I was 17 years old, I had my first boyfriend, okay? Against my parents' wishes. They were completely and utterly against it. Let me just say that. But, you know, me, I was 17, I felt lonely, and I wanted a boyfriend. So I got a boyfriend. I started a new job, okay? I started college, started a new job working as a editor, assistant editor at a medical publishing company in New Jersey. I met a really cute guy, and then we hit it off, and suddenly I was in a position where I was cheating on my first boyfriend ever. And at the time, I'll admit, I felt guilty, but I was also being very selfish because I was young. It was the first boyfriend I ever had, and I don't want to say I didn't think twice about it because I definitely felt bad about it and felt guilty. And let me tell you something, he ended up doing the same thing to me, right? The guy I moved on with, he cheated on me. And when he cheated on me, so my first boyfriend was heartbroken. And when this guy cheated on me, we'll call him the Boy Scout, because that's what my brother used to call him. When he cheated on me, I was broken as a person. I went on to date this guy for a few years, and then he just destroyed me at the end, right? And it clicked in that moment when that happened that that's exactly what I had done to my first boyfriend. But I didn't even know that. Like, I didn't know I had hurt him to that degree and that he felt that kind of pain, because if you're not walking in someone's shoes, you're never going to know the kind of pain that they feel. So that's why we have to be really careful, okay, about judging people and about criticizing people when they're going through things, and on and on and on. Let me share another example with you guys of what goes around comes around. My father raising us, yeah, he was around, but really the primary person who was our caregiver was my mom. She was the one taking care of us. She was the one that was there for us. And even when my father had an opportunity to be there for us, to take care of us, to be sweet on us, you know what? He always avoided it. He always abandoned us. He never wanted to be sweet on us, be there for us, be present for us. It was always my mom filling that role. And he always turned his back on us. Always. There was always something more important than his family. And you know, you really saw the trauma of him not having love in his life at a young age really spill out into his adulthood, and his inability to love and empathize with his kids and his wife and be present for them, right? So you really saw that, and he just would avoid us. And I'm not saying that the avoidance was intentional. The avoidance was something that was upon him, right? He was being steered, and in a way, when he avoided us, I felt relieved because my childhood was riddled with a lot of heavy-handed things that went on by my father. So it was like I was relieved when he wasn't around. Ultimately, what ended up happening was as he got older, like he started experiencing a lot of health problems with his back, with his inability to walk. He started having difficulty walking, needing assistance, needing someone to help him. obviously someone to take care of him financially, and on and on and on, because he's getting older in age. He's elder now, he's elderly. And you know what happened to him? By his own moves. See, he moved, he left the country, he went and lived in Turkey, then he went back to Egypt. He lived in Turkey many years, then he went to Egypt. And you know what? By his own moves, he ended up in a spot where he was completely alone and isolated with no one around him. He had some family left in Egypt, but really he didn't have me, he didn't have my other siblings, he didn't have my mom, he didn't have family there to support him. He was relying on people who were complete strangers, and they were what? Taking advantage of him. So what started from my early childhood with his behavior and him thinking nothing of it and thinking it was okay, because at the moment, right, when we're in the situation, we just do things. We're not thinking of long-term consequences, how it's going to come back to us. So we always have to be mindful, but be careful. Don't empathize too much with people, because then you might find yourself in a sticky situation. Okay, people will suck you in with their drama and their emotions. You have to have a barrier. But when dealing with people, understand what goes around comes around. And my father, he's on his own with no support. People taking advantage of him. The way that he had left us, okay, with very little support. So God never abandoned us. We never, were homeless. We always had a really nice home. We always had food on the table. My mom was there, happy, healthy to take care of us. We were well taken care of. Make no mistake about it. But you see what happened, how his lack of presence, was a gift to me, because I didn't have to bear what I was being, given by him. But it was not a gift for him in the long run because of his intentions, of his conduct, and look what God put him in. He put himself in his own situation. People hang themselves. I have so many stories of people hanging themselves in this kind of way. So when we're out here and we're treating one another, please always speak the truth. Always think about the consequences of your actions, and understand when you're out here, move with the intention of love, and allow God to move you to speak, to help others, to help them to surrender, to understand what God has in store for them. I hope this message blesses you all. May the Lord walk with you. May God guide your thoughts, your conduct, everything that you do, the words that come out of your mouth. May God be so present in your life that when you walk, you don't feel scared, because you know God's with you. How can you be scared when the Lord walks with you? You can't. I hope you can all get to this point. And when you move, think about what it is that you're doing, okay? What goes around, comes around. I hope this message blesses you all. Take care, and God bless.